So I'm talking to Erin, the costume designer of Loving. Congratulations on the film.
Thank you so much. We're very proud of it.
So I thought it was fascinating watching how you were able to get the clothing from the photos I remember seeing. Do they have the clothes still, the family, or did you just take it from the photos?
No, we used the photos as reference, and oftentimes in movies, we are creating out of our imagination. But this was one of those unique experiences where we actually had visual photographic references from the time, and so we took that was my direction. Jeff, the director, just said, use these and let's just make the most authentic to the letter as we possibly can. And so that's really what we did. And it's kind of that. Then the next step is the sort of craft of how that is done. And we do that by finding things, by our many resources. We do it by building it and then washing it down to make it look worn and used. That's the beginning of the process.
Now, I know at that time period, people wore cotton and other natural fabrics. Did you guys use natural fabrics, or did you sort of use more durable products?
An interesting question. That was, I would say that oh, hi. I would say that we had a lot of different fabrics. There were a lot of different fabrics at that time. It was 1958, and fashion-wise, there were a myriad of synthetic fibers that were being produced. Believe it or not, back in the 20s, I would say you could not. It was linen, cotton, wool, simple, trifecta. But we had them. So, but I would say, a lot of the stuff there were many cotton blends, especially just because this was the South and it was hot, and so it was a lot of just breathable materials that you would wear to do everyday sort of tasks, housework and raising kids and that sort of thing, and things that were just breathable and manageable on an everyday sort of basis, washable.
What I really enjoyed about the film was that the clothing looked like real clothing that I'd see from movies in that time period. Did you get another feel from looking at other films that were made in that time period?
We purposely wanted to create a very genuine look and feel to our film, and I think every one of the filmmakers that got together for this film worked towards that to every day. I mean, that was our work to do every day, and so I think we were not trying to use other films or use references because oftentimes I find that other films are making sort of the more fantastical. Kind of more glorious version of the time period, or the more what you'd maybe see in magazines and editorials, which is not sort of our world. And so I think I was specifically trying to stay away from any other kind of references like that.
I noticed in the film I could tell who had money and who didn't have money. The lawyer's suits, especially the lawyer who's from New York, his suit looked really nice, just the finishing. Then the young lawyer who was sort of starting out, his suit looked nice, but it wasn't quite as polished as a New York lawyer's. And then their clothing was definitely something that I would think of as blue-collar people wearing. How did you guys sort of figure that one out? Because I think the way I look at clothing is an armor, and it sort of projects what you want and how you expect to be treated.
Sure. I also believe clothing has great powers. I would say we're always trying to get the the true essence of a character across through the clothing. And so what I do is to find, it's not always what is actually more expensive or actually what the price tag is or anything like that, but really just kind of how it reads on the person. And so that's what a fitting is all about. We're looking towards, okay, so where do, is this the big DC lawyer, or is this the big New York lawyer, or is this the small town lawyer? And we're totally dressing to that, to those characters, to the real characters as much as we possibly can.
Now, I liked the way Mr. Loving dressed when he was working. It looked like it's almost like a timeless laborer look of what people still wear nowadays, but it looked like it read really real to me. How was that to get him to be able to lay the brick down, wear it, and then just sort of, it added a dimension to his character. Sometimes when he'd wear the outfit when he was leaning on the couch and on her shoulder, the clothing just sort of looked like something somebody would wear at home after a hard day, and they were just like, I'm just chilling.
Sure. Richard's work clothes and all of his clothes were directly related to and directly descended from the fact that he was always working either laying bricks or in construction or with his hands and with cement. And so we created his entire closet to have, we actually sourced we spoke to Chad and the production department and the production designer, what kind of cement are you using on set so we can match the cement color on his clothing, and we actually paint in the cement so that it doesn't wash out when we have to wash the clothes, so that it stays for continuity. And so we painted in the cement color to match the cement color instead, and we do all those kind of things so that it really does feel like he's worked in them, and it feels that way. And I think there's just a real there's a little bit of a luck scenario in that the work clothes from that time period have really withstood the test of time. Thank you. Workwear, men's workwear today is so similar and takes so much from that time period. And so, the plaid jackets and the work shirts and the chambray shirts, we're sort of living it today. And so I think that was just kind of a coincidence. But something I do want to talk about is we built all of Richard's we created it from scratch, all of Richard's wardrobe. And so he, something that was really important was, if you look at Richard Loving, the original real Richard Loving's photographs, everything, the way that his pants fit was kind of the key to his character. I always felt like it was the key to his soul kind of thing, because he wore them much higher with a much higher waist, and the way that it all fit was very specific to his character, and we really tried to emulate that with Joel. And so we kept building different versions of the pants to mimic exactly the rise, for example, in Richard's pants.
This is going to be a weird question, but how many of the outfits do you make for the person? Like, do you make just 2 outfits for him? Do you make 3? Because I know things get damaged, things can get ripped up.
Yeah, we build, I would say, in every movie it's a little bit different, just based on the nature of what's being filmed. If, for example, in this, I think we had about 8 pairs of Richard's pants, and I think we had about 20 shirts that we had a closet of that we picked from, depending on what was the scene.
Final question.
Sure.
The outfit that they wore outside the courthouse, how was that making that? Because it's such an iconic image that I think everyone knows from, Life magazine. How was that designing and making it and getting it the right fit?
We very much wanted to nail that one. And so we started off with a base coat, and we built out the fur to sort of match Mildred's original coat. And for Richard, we really tried to mimic again the fit of how it fit Richard, because Richard was not a typical suit wearer, and so we tried to find a pretty ill-fitting suit to fit our leading man. And yeah, we found it, altered it, and in Mildred's case, we built it. for Ruth's case, we built it. We built the jacket.
Thank you so much for talking with me. The costumes look great. You guys did a wonderful job evoking that time period.
Thank you.
For everyone, as well as the police officers too. The
Rad.
uniforms were like they were on point. I was very frightened of them when they were in their uniforms.
They if we have time, I'll tell you that the story. We actually were given some of the uniforms. We were given the real sheriffs. Children that still live in the area in Richmond. They loaned us his uniform.
Wow.
We actually wound up having to use a different one because our actor was too big for it. But yeah, they were really helpful and instrumental in helping us, get the exact right uniform. So.
Wow, that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
It's a pleasure talking with you.
You
And I
too.
really like your blouse. It's really